Since 1998, the ADCC tournament has had a near monopoly on BJJ. They paid the winners pennies, never innovated, and kept all the profits for themselves. But now they're competing for $1 million, and it's thanks to one man, Craig Jones.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is $1 million in cash.
In 2024, he hosted the Craig Jones Invitational, a revolutionary BJJ tournament with no rules, was free to watch, had viral promotion, and most importantly, enormous prize pools for the athletes. And Craig Jones, being the troll and mastermind he is, he put the show on the exact same weekend as the prestigious ADCC.
You're gonna go head to head with ADCC, which is the biggest grappling organization in the world.
It caused an earthquake in the Jiu-Jitsu community, forced ADCC to change their ways, and now Craig Jones is putting on another show the scale of which BJJ has never seen before. So this is the story of how Craig Jones has destroyed a 100-year-old martial art. From the origin of BJJ until modern day, it's never been a sport where money has been easy to come by.
Why is the sport of BJJ so poor? Why is everyone in it so broke?
I mean, for the same reason you don't watch it, I think. You know, like I think most average fans rather watch MMA. It's a sport you only really watch if you participate in, whereas MMA is a sport that people enjoy to watch and have no interest in participating in it at all. So our audience is sort of capped, but the sport is growing. So there is some money in it.
Prize pools are few and far between, with most successful athletes making cash through coaching, sponsors, or selling courses. So for the vast majority of elite jiu-jitsu athletes, they simply compete for prestige.
You could win an ADCC gold medal. You might not sell a seminar, you might not sell an instructional. Just winning the medals doesn't mean people are gonna care about you.
And that's where the ADCC comes in. It's the most historical competition in the sport and is essentially the Olympics of BJJ.
It is the #1 no-gi tournament in the world, right? It's the most prestigious no-gi tournament. When people think of a title that they want to win in no-gi, that's the one.
But unlike other sports, where being crowned the best in the world usually comes with a whole host of financial rewards, ADCC winners receive just $10,000. And get this, in most years, there's been no show money whatsoever. You can win ADCC trials, compete in the biggest event in the world, finish in second place, yet walk away with not a single dollar to show for it.
They wrongly assumed that they could maintain the same purse they've had since day one and continue it as the sport grew. And it's like, if we went from a basketball stadium with maybe 100 to 200 people there to now selling out 10,000 plus seat arenas, to knowing the streaming rights for this event are obviously going to be a large figure too.
But according to former ADCC employee Seth Daniels, someone who'd later have a public feud with Craig Jones, ADCC never made a profit. After paying the venue, travel costs, and everything else, the remaining money supposedly went to the athletes. But either way, ADCC essentially had a monopoly on the sport and had no reason to truly change their ways. Everyone within the community knew it was an issue, yet no one had the power to do anything about it. Then in recent years, Craig Jones' star power exploded, and all of a sudden he had the pull to tear the ADCC to shreds, and he did just that.
So I've decided to throw a tournament where we're going to give away $1 million to the two divisions, under 80 kilos, over 80 kilos. And that is 100 times more than sort of the other event that people consider the Olympics of our sport. And I've decided to throw it the same weekend to sort of make the athletes choose, because it's what's worth more, the prestige of a long-running tournament or money? And I think it's money.
Having competed numerous times at ADCC himself, Craig Jones knew firsthand how it felt to leave the competition without a dollar, and this was while he was a huge draw in terms of pulling viewers to the event. In recent years, Craig Jones has become not only one of the biggest stars in jiu-jitsu, but probably combat sports as a whole. He has a huge social following, has been on every major podcast, and thanks to his hilarious personality, is a universally loved figure.
I mean, you need to get changed. Obviously, don't pull your dick out in front of everyone. Pull your dick out in the gender-neutral locker room.
If he was in the UFC, where criticisms about fighter pay are constant, Craig Jones would have been compensated for his star power or had the ability to win a performance bonus at the very least. In ADCC, it's win the whole thing or go home empty-handed. So Craig Jones decided enough was enough, and he was going to create his own tournament and have it be a direct rival to ADCC.
I mean, what started it? Well, obviously you can't win a tournament. You put your own tournament on that you can win. And probably lose anyway. I mean, really, it's for the growth of the sport. we're getting some beef involved, some Tupac Biggie, Drake Kendrick energy to this, but really to compensate the athletes well and to raise some money for charity along the way.
Jiu-Jitsu has seen the likes of the Eddie Bravo Invitational, Polaris, and other shows try to compete alongside and revolutionize BJJ, and while they've done great jobs over the years, they aim to compete alongside ADCC, not dethrone it completely, whereas that's exactly what Craig Jones wanted to do. With the events on the same weekend, athletes had a serious choice to make: compete under the ADCC banner for the prestige or jump ship to CJI. Jones offered every single athlete $10,001 in show money, ironically a single dollar more than the winner of ADCC.
Whose purse? 10K?
That's the prize money to win 4 matches at ADCC.
And you get the same money to just show up. And $1.
$1. We threw $1 in on top. I contributed that dollar personally, but
So that's a total of what, like, there's 32 fighters?
I threw $32 into the pool, you know?
That's very charitable of you, very giving.
Generous and tax deductible.
But the big prize, $1 million for the winner of the over 80 kg tournament and another $1 million for the under 80 kg bracket. It was prize money that seemed utterly impossible for BJJ athletes to ever compete for. The big question is though, how could Craig Jones find the cash to put on a huge show, promote the hell out of it, and then give away unprecedented purses? His first way is through leveraging his own star power and media savvy.
If you have the right mix, I call it the Goldilocks zone. If you have the right mix of autism and steroids, you are guaranteed, 100% guaranteed to become a world champion. And that's the thing, is that people are focusing on steroids, but really as a world-class coach, you really want to attract people with autism because you can give anyone steroids. Despite our best efforts, we've yet to give anyone autism.
It's no secret that Craig Jones knows his way around an Instagram post or two. Whether it's viral podcast clips, building up his BJJ team, the B team, or getting involved with the UFC's promotion, Jones is a media genius. And clearly he's a student of what works because he absolutely leans into a pro wrestling style approach of promotion. That can't be clearer than the running friendly rivalry with Gabby Garcia that ended with a super fight between the two.
You've got to keep the event pure, which is, I mean, obviously it is about purely sport and not entertainment, which is why I've decided to participate in the event and rebuild the battle of the sexes and decide to take on a 6'4", 250-pound, 11-time world champion female grappler of the sport.
And he's driving all that online traffic to his tournament, building up the viewership, getting more sponsors, which all contribute to putting on a huge show. But even so, giving out multiple $1 million is a serious investment, and Jones himself jokes he has a secret investor.
Keep source of money anonymous?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, obviously there's going to be a lot of speculation, that's fun. But the guy donating, he wants to remain anonymous because people are going to bombard him, asking him for money, asking him for different things, you know? He'd prefer to stay anonymous, and it allows me to be a little mysterious with the source of money, you know? Like, obviously, I've been to Ukraine, it's a good joke. Everyone thinks they're wasting American taxpayers over there. Maybe I went over there and found some.
But given he's recently been to Ukraine, went to the front line and began training some of their troops because he's a wild man, perhaps there is some truth to what he says.
I really wanted to go out there, support those guys, and really see kind of what was going on out there. And the seminar blew up, probably bad choice of words, but yeah, we had 250 people at the seminar, so it was like widely supported. It was awesome, and we donated all the money to Ukrainian soldiers.
All in all, it was the foundation for something BJJ had never seen before, and unlike ADCC, Craig Jones made sure the event was modern, accessible, and entertaining for its viewers. It was made free to watch on YouTube, had slanted mats to prevent stalling, and was a spectacle unlike anything in the BJJ community.
They added, I think, nearly 40 or 50,000 subs to the B Team YouTube channel, putting it on YouTube and getting well over 120,000 concurrent live viewers for the program. Was genius, absolutely genius, because it exposed people to jiu-jitsu for free, basically for free, in a way that they'd never been able to access it before. They didn't have to get a Flow Grappling subscription. They didn't have to get a Fight Pass subscription. They didn't have to go to ESPN Plus. They just had to go to regular old YouTube.
ADCC is traditionally pay-per-view, puts on the same production each year, gives out the same small prizes, and so on. They were dinosaurs relying on their brand name only, so Craig Jones came in and caused a whirlwind on the entire sport. And with a lot of fighters opting out of ADCC to compete in CJI, the event pulling hundreds of thousands of online viewers, and being renewed for a second show in 2025, the Craig Jones Invitational was a massive success.
It was an overwhelming success in every way possible. And I want to be clear, the thing that puts it all together is Craig Jones himself. Craig Jones promoted the balls off of this event.
But not everyone within the grappling community was on board. It's a historic sport that respects its traditions, so in some people's eyes, someone unconventional like Craig Jones actually does the sport more harm than good. After all, he discredits the winner of the most prestigious tournament, causes fans and athletes to pick which event to be at, and there's no definitive answer as for who the best in the world is.
It's the athletes that are really the ones that are forced to choose, so to speak, between something that might have been a lifelong goal in ADCC and money, and not just a little bit of money. It's like life-changing money.
Yeah. Through his trash talk of ADCC and hurting their event, the people behind the scenes weren't happy with Craig Jones, so much so that some pretty dark messages were sent his way. They came from a man called Seth Daniels, who at the time was the production manager for ADCC, in which he literally threatened to kill Jones if he or his fans attacked him online. And in the end, Daniels lost his job once Craig Jones screenshotted the message and made them public.
I don't know what's going on here, but we woke up bright and early this morning to this lovely message from Seth Daniels, ADCC organizer. You might know him best for his fireworks displays or his brilliant ability to play the bongo. But he's saying, I'm not saying this lightly, I'm telling you, I will end your fucking life. Guys, you might be a bit upset. That seems a bit passive-aggressive for 4:37 in the morning.
But while this was clearly in backlash to Jones talking trash about ADCC, his impact was definitely felt, because in direct response to CJI, ADCC changed their ways. It was reported that they began offering show money to its competitors, starting at a minimum of $2,500. While not a huge amount of money, it's the first time they've given show money in their near 30-year history. It goes to show that Craig Jones's influence is lifting the sport, even for the competitors who don't compete on his shows. Because while he may just seem like a funny dude online who happens to be incredibly good at jiu-jitsu, Craig Jones is much, much more than just that.
You're very technical. I mean, the thing about your, joking around and being silly about it all is like you are, but your technique is very, very good, obviously. You obviously are one of the elite guys in the world when it comes to technique. So it's not, you are serious.
He raised $500,000 for charity, recently went to Peru to build a world-class BJJ facility for kids in poverty, and raised issues on gender discrimination within the sport.
Sí, ese es el
That's
cuarto.
her room?
Your room.
Yeah.
Es pues mi baño, mi
The bathroom?
The Baños. How many people live here?
12 personas creo.
12.
12 people. What's up? How do I say it? Dara.
Que sí lo conozco, pero por videos y nunca pensé tenerlo aquí en persona.
Hopefully you don't follow my Instagram.
His 2024 CJI event put on a women's super fight featuring the two best grapplers in the world, and in his upcoming show there's a 100K tournament with 4 female athletes competing. It's giving BJJ practitioners opportunities, ways to make money, and eyeballs on them that they could have never dreamed of. Even the UFC must have taken notice of the potential success in Jiu-Jitsu, because not even a year after CJI in 2024, they created their own Ultimate Fighter style show for grappling. But they went one step further. Depending on your allegiance, they took inspiration or copied the pit style arena, rules scoring system, and many other features from CJI.
Hey, all the success in the world, obviously they stole the pit, the rules, the judges, the staff, the blocking staff from working our event, but I hope the finale goes off with a bang today and all you guys tune in to watch my ideas come to fruition on the UFC YouTube channel.
And clearly the UFC is very aware of Craig Jones and his influence in combat sports media. As a grappling coach for both Volkanovski and Jack Della Maddalena, Jones did a huge amount of press before their fights with Makhachev and Bilal Muhammad respectively.
I felt a natural pull from the fans. I was getting a lot of messages saying, please for the love of God, help us get rid of Bilal Muhammad. And I believe it's even in his contract. If he loses this fight, he's out.
Yeah,
he's back to Uber driving, which he was quite successful at, 4.97 star reviews.
He arguably promoted the fights better than they did themselves, and then he created this whole narrative of him versus Dagestani wrestlers.
Obviously, I figured out the Dagestani system. Wasn't a lot of depth there, but I figured it out, as compared to the systems we have in Jiu-Jitsu, the Dagestani system, there wasn't a whole lot going on. Basically just creative ways of laying on a man, holding another man down. So we obviously cracked that code. Islam could not keep Volkanovski down. it was incredibly biased judging at the UFC Australia event, and they gave that to Islam.
So when Jack Della fights Makhachev, you know that storyline will be a huge part of the fight. Jones' ties to the UFC and its fans is also a wise move on his part. No doubt a huge portion of people watching CJI are UFC fans with an interest in grappling, and that's where doing things like the super fight between him and NCAA and Olympic champion wrestler Gable Stevenson becomes such a genius move. UFC fans want to see what happens. BJJ guys want their athlete to win, while the old school wrestling heads will be rooting for Stevenson.
American wrestling is not good. American wrestlers, when it hits the ground or nothing happens, the referee saves them and stands them back up. Unfortunately, in MMA and Jiu-Jitsu, we continue, and that's where really we have an advantage, again, over American wrestlers. All wrestlers, especially Dagestani wrestlers, we've ruined their careers as well. But yeah, they do have a heavy bias, but we can beat those wrestlers. Australian grappling, far superior to all forms of wrestling.
And if CJI is here for the long haul, or if the UFC BJJ show becomes the gold standard, it really doesn't matter. Craig Jones' aim for CJI wasn't to take over and monopolize the sport like ADCC. In fact, it was the total opposite. He wants more money for athletes, more options of where to compete, and a more entertaining sport for the casual audience. And in a tiny amount of time, he's shaken up the ADCC, indirectly pushed the UFC into the sport, and given out millions of dollars in prize money.
Using perhaps pay as something of a Trojan horse, but then showing so much more about it. Craig Jones brings new life into jiu-jitsu because he is seeing it differently than everybody else. ADCC was trying to make, in my judgment, a bit of an older model look as good as it could, and it looked good. That is not the same as, could we do this differently?
So whatever happens from now onwards, Craig Jones has liberated jiu-jitsu from its old ways. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, go get the subscribe button and a leg lock because we make videos just like this every single week.